Yeah,
Well, I've been
I don't
looking
know about
into a
your boobs,
reduction.
but mine is sensitive.
Amy's emotional reaction, captured on camera, revealed the depth of her heartbreak and frustration with her family as Season 7 unfolded into one of the most turbulent chapters ever filmed for 1,000-Pound Sisters, a chapter where every decision, every disagreement, and every emotional crack in the Slaton family dynamic became amplified by the pressure of a wedding, the intensity of unresolved resentment, and the growing divide between siblings struggling to understand one another while the world watched their every move. What began as a simple celebration of love quickly transformed into a battleground of opinions, fears, insecurities, and the ghosts of past conflicts that the family had never fully resolved. Amy's dream of hosting her wedding in a former asylum, an abandoned, gothic, atmospheric venue that matched her Halloween aesthetic, did not merely trigger discomfort among her siblings. It ignited a firestorm of resistance as Chris, Amanda, Misty, and Brittany flatly declared they would refuse to attend if Amy went through with the location, arguing that celebrating love in a place associated with suffering, trauma, and mental health pain was deeply inappropriate and disrespectful. But for Amy, the venue symbolized something entirely different: independence, creativity, and the right to express herself without being controlled by others. What her siblings saw as disturbing, she saw as beautiful, expressive, cinematic, and meaningful, a way of embracing the gothic Halloween fantasy she had loved her entire life. The fight that erupted over this choice was not really about a building. It was about years of Amy feeling overshadowed, underestimated, and dismissed, years of being treated as the little sister who didn't know what she wanted, and years of being pressured to mold her identity to fit the expectations of her family. The venue confrontation became a symbol of something much deeper, Amy finally asserting her voice and her autonomy, even when that meant standing aga. In the ever-shifting world of reality television, where personal lives become commodities and private struggles transform into entertainment consumed by millions, the story behind Amy and Tammy Slaton has taken a turn so dramatic, so emotionally charged, and so deeply tangled in private pain and public spectacle that even longtime followers of 1,000-Pound Sisters were unprepared for the scale of upheaval unfolding behind the scenes. Because what began as a show rooted in vulnerability, sisterhood, hardship, and transformation has now spiraled into a chain of events involving corporate pressure, emotional collapse, family tension, financial punishment, psychological exhaustion, and a level of personal turmoil neither sister ever expected to face when the cameras first started rolling years ago. For Amy Slaton, who entered the public eye with a mixture of optimism, insecurity, humor, and hope, the journey has always been about improving her health, giving her children a stable future, and trying to navigate life while balancing fame with personal responsibility. But as the pressures of stardom grew heavier with each season and the network's demands became more invasive, emotionally draining, and increasingly misaligned with her own limits, she found herself standing at a crossroads that no amount of fan support or contractual obligation could soften, a breaking point where she finally declared she could not continue filming Season 8 under the circumstances TLC insisted upon, and that decision, driven by mental exhaustion, health concerns, and a need to protect her sense of self, triggered a massive, almost seismic reaction from the network, resulting in an enormous fine of $100,000, a penalty that shocked fans, stunned insiders, and opened a floodgate of speculation about what truly led to this explosive conflict. The story did not end with a simple refusal to film. Instead, it revealed a slow-building storm of emotional distress, internal conflicts, and behind the scenes. Tammy had always lived in a complicated world of emotions, expectations, and internal battles that most people never truly saw, but the weight of everything she had ever carried, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, began pressing down on her in ways that blurred the lines between fear, reality, and the shadows she believed were following her long before anyone else noticed. Her days inside rehab were meant to be structured, predictable, and safe, but Tammy's mind had drifted into darker corners she had been avoiding for years, corners filled with memories of isolation, harsh words from strangers online, and nights where even her breathing felt like an act of survival. Yet the moment she woke up that morning, something felt different, as if the air was heavier, as if something had settled over her during the night and refused to leave. She moved slowly, her thoughts clouded, her chest tight, and when she looked in the mirror, she didn't see herself anymore. She saw exhaustion. She saw fear. She saw a woman who had been trying to fight a lifetime of pain with only half the weapons she needed. The nurses checked on her repeatedly, noticing her silence, noticing how her hands trembled, noticing that Tammy was barely holding on, but Tammy brushed them off with forced smiles and quick nods, pretending she was fine, pretending nothing had shifted inside her. But it had. Deep down, she felt something following her, something clinging to her spirit like an unwelcome shadow, something she couldn't describe without sounding unhinged, and the more she tried to ignore it, the stronger the feeling became. She kept imagining eyes staring at her from dark corners, heavy breaths lingering behind her, whispers brushing past her ears whenever she was alone. Her sleep, already fragile, had shattered completely. She would jolt awake drenched in sweat, gasping for air, convinced something had been standing over her. The staff chalked it up to stress, to therapy pressure, to in a stunning and unexpected development that has sent shockwaves throughout the reality television industry. TLC has reportedly fined 1,000-pound Sisters star Amy Slaton a staggering $100,000 after she refused to film Season 8, a decision that insiders claim was the culmination of months of rising tension, emotional exhaustion, and deep conflict between the network and one of its most beloved stars. What actually unfolded behind closed doors is far more intense, complicated, and emotionally charged than fans could ever have imagined. While viewers have always seen the drama on screen, arguments, breakthroughs, health challenges, and deeply personal moments, the real turmoil, the hidden struggles, and the battles waged away from the cameras have remained largely concealed until now. Amy Slaton, known for her honesty, charm, vulnerability, and unwavering determination to transform her life alongside her sister Tammy, had built a powerful connection with millions of viewers since the very first episode. Fans watched her go through bariatric surgery, confront lifelong habits, face emotional setbacks, celebrate victories, and adapt to motherhood, all while handling immense pressure from fame and personal challenges. She became more than a reality star. She became a symbol of resilience, someone whose transparency and spirit resonated deeply with people around the world. But while the show portrayed her journey in a heartfelt and inspiring light, insiders reveal that behind the scenes, the pressure on Amy grew heavier each year, with demanding filming schedules, creative disagreements, and increasing interference in her daily life, pushing her to emotional and physical limits. According to sources close to her, the tension between Amy and TLC executives had been simmering for months as filming obligations became more intense and more invasive, with producers reportedly requesting deeply personal content that Amy no longer felt comfortable sharing, though she valued the platform. The news hit the Slaton family like a physical blow, the kind of blow that steals the breath and leaves the chest tight with panic. Chris Combs, the sibling who had always been the steady anchor, the quiet strength behind Tammy and Amy, had suffered a massive stroke. In an instant, the foundation of the family's support system seemed to tremble, threatening to collapse entirely under the weight of fear, uncertainty, and grief. Brittany, who had always admired Chris's calm and rational presence, felt her chest tighten as the words stroke and emergency became a brutal reality. The room seemed to shrink, the walls closing in with a stifling sense of inevitability as she watched him struggle to remain upright, his right arm faltering, his speech slurring, the familiar clarity in his eyes dimming in a terrifying way. Amy's reaction was immediate and overwhelming. She had always shared a unique bond with Chris, one that went beyond words, beyond the public eye, and into the realm of unspoken understanding. The moment she understood the gravity of the situation, the tears came uncontrollably, as if her body could no longer contain the storm of panic, dread, and helplessness raging inside her. The sobs were raw, guttural, a sound that echoed the terror she felt at the thought of losing the brother who had always been a safe harbor in the storms of their lives. Friends who witnessed her breakdown said it was like watching someone grapple with an impossible weight, the kind that crushes the spirit even as it leaves the body moving mechanically, trapped in a cycle of shock and disbelief. Brittany, meanwhile, took immediate action, dialing 911 with shaking hands, her voice breaking, her words frantic, pleading for help. The seconds stretched into eternities as she shouted into the receiver, describing Chris's symptoms, begging the operator to hurry, to bring him life-saving aid before it was too late. Every moment was a battle against time,